Land versus houses, which one is better? Well, that's a pretty loaded question. So perhaps the better or the more accurate question to ask is, which one of the two makes you more money quicker? And the answer is, every single time, hands down, no questions asked, land. So you might think I'm crazy for saying that land is more profitable and better than houses. But hey, there's a lot of things that go into that conclusion. So stay on until the very end too, because at the very end, I'm going to share with you a mistake that the house flippers do all the time that costs you a ton of money and that you won't do with land flipping. All right, my name is Jack Bosch and I'm on a mission to create 10,000 millionaires in the next 5 years. I'm doing it mainly through our YouTube channel by educating the world about real estate and giving financial information. But let's talk about why land is better than houses. And now, why would I claim that? Well, here's the thing. Here's reason number one. Land is simple. So half-jokingly, we always like to say that in land, there's no tenants, toilets, and termites. And what that really means is that there's just nothing that breaks. There's nobody that stuffs your toilet full of toilet paper or other stuff that it makes it break. There's nobody that does a midnight move out. There's none of those things that happen here. We have flipped over 4,500 pieces of land and nobody has broken any windows. Nobody has done anything to the roof. Nobody has poured concrete down the toilet, down the pipes, or any kind of these crazy things that you hear from the house flipping side. It's simply just cash and cash flow. Reason number two that land is better than houses is that land actually can cash flow massively. So let's look at that. In the housing side of things, how do you create cash flow? Well, there's really two ways. One is you rent the property out, and the second one is you sell it with seller financing. Renting the property out comes with its whole host of problems that we already covered, like midnight move-outs, tenant trash, non-payment, evictions, etc., etc., etc. Seller financing on houses also comes with its whole host of problems, because if you've seller financing more than a few properties a year, then you actually are falling under what's called the Dodd-Frank Act, and you have to go get a mortgage originator's license, and you have to jump through all kinds of different hoops to qualify that buyer to even be able to buy that house from you and seller financing. This is all eliminated with land flipping. We can rent land, first of all. Yes, we can rent land. And if we rent land, then there's nothing that usually is being done to it. For example, we rented a piece of land not too long ago to a construction firm for about 2 years. And for 2 years, what they wanted to do on the land was simply store their heavy equipment there at night. And for that, they paid us $2,000. Now, in that process, did they destroy the land? No. Did they clog the plumbing? No, there's no plumbing. Did they break some windows? No, none of that stuff. It was simply pure cash flow. The second way to make land cash flow is actually also through seller financing. Now, let me give you an example. Not too long ago, we purchased a property, an infill lot in the cities or street, lots of houses, one empty lot that had a fire on the property. They had to raise the house, and now it was an empty lot. The seller had probably made money from the insurance, and he no longer cared about the property, and he wanted to just get rid of it. So we bought this lot for $5,000. Then we turned around and sold it literally a few weeks later to somebody for $65,000. And they gave us a 10% down payment. So they gave us as a down payment $6,500. Now, if you do the math, what you'll see is that in this case, we received more as a down payment than we actually paid for the property. And that's very typical in our seller financing deals. The proper way, the land profit generator way of doing seller financing with land is that the down payment is higher than what you even pay for the property. So in other words, on this deal, we now had zero money in the deal. We had not only gotten our $5,000 back, but we had $1,500 in our pocket. And now the buyer was making, or is still making, since there's still an ongoing deal, they're making $463 a month in monthly payments, almost $500. Now, the beauty of that is that there is no tenants, toilets, and termites. It is pure cash flow. Now, again, land is better than houses because it allows for both to be rented. It allows for self-financing. In both ways are way simpler than if you do the same thing on the housing side. All right, so not only is land simpler, it also cash flows. And number three, it's actually even easier to scale. I have a lot of house flipper friends. And what they tell me is that it takes them about $10,000 or more in marketing to get a single deal that they then can fix and flip or flip. On average, on each of those deals, they make an average of only $9,000 in profits. That requires them to send out multiple series of letters and emails. On top of it, they have to do cold call, they have to add pay-per-click. It's a big operation in order to consistently get house deals. On the land side though, we get a deal on an average for every about 800 letters we send out. 800 letters cost $500 to send out. So basically for the same budget that the house flippers get one deal, we can get 20 deals. On top of it, because we don't have to go out, look at the property, we don't have to estimate repairs, we don't have to have boots on the ground, there's much less moving pieces with land flipping, which allows us to scale much more. And then lastly, we're getting about 3 to 10% response rates on counties that are proven to perform. If you look at the house flippers, I have a lot of house flipping friends, as I mentioned. Their average is typically somewhere in around the 0.4% of response rates, 0.3% of response rates. So in other words, in land flipping, we get a 10 to 20x higher response rates than the house flippers do, without having to send multiple letters, without having to add pay-per-click to it, without having to cold call people. And on top of it, our average profit is actually $15,000 a deal, with us and our students sometimes making 6 figures on a land deal, and one of our coaches recently having done a deal that she made 7 figures on. Now, she made 7 figures without having to change the lot, without having to rehab the lot, without having to finance the lot, without having to inspect a lot, simply by applying a proven method of getting a lot from somebody that doesn't want it anymore, and then marketing in a proper way and putting it on the market at an attractive price with attractive marketing to the right people. Now, it doesn't sound that much simpler than all the stuff you have to do over the house flipping world. And because there's less moving pieces and because the profits are higher, you can actually scale much faster than with house flipping. Now, if you made it this far in the video, let me now expose to you the mistake that most house flippers do. And that is, they think house flipping is recession proof, but it's not. We're in a changing market, strategies need to change. What worked in an up market doesn't work in a down market. House flipping, fix and flip, worked beautifully in an up market, but it's like catching a falling knife in a down market. So as houses are losing value in the current recession, guess what? The house flippers are losing their shirt. The wholesalers can't find people to buy those houses anymore because every week that they wait, the houses are worth less and the numbers don't make sense anymore. Well, here's the thing. Surprise, land flipping is recession proof. We have done land flipping all the way since the year 2002, to the up in 2005, 6, 7, to the down in 8, 9, 10, to the stagnation in 11, 12, 13, to the up since then, to the recession right now, and it has worked exact same way every single year. Yes, during a recession, do you buy them cheaper and sell them cheaper and your profits are a little bit smaller? Yes, that is true. But other than that, nothing has changed. We have been doing this with seller financing, with cash, with different ways of double closings, singles, triple closings, assignments, all the different things in land flipping since the year 2002, and our strategy has not changed a dot. We don't have to relearn real estate every 5 to 6 years when the market changes. We can simply take one strategy and apply it again and again and again and again, no matter what happens in the world. These are the reasons that why I think land is better than houses. I hope you agree by this point. I hope I changed some minds here. Well, I would love to see your comments below and let me know what you think about land flipping versus house flipping. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, and also hit that notification bell so you know when the next video comes up. All right, see you in the next video.